how to make buttermilk spring chicken. Let's get into it. First, we're going to make our buttermilk. Add 2 cups of milk to a large bowl. Next, you want to add either 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, or lime juice, or vinegar. Whichever one of the 3 you have is fine. Now give this a stir and let it rest for about 10 to 15 minutes. Don't panic if it curdles, that's supposed to happen. And that's how you make buttermilk. Don't buy it if you don't have to. While our buttermilk is getting ready, we're going to start working on our chicken. Now if you prefer marinating in a large bowl instead of a Ziploc bag, that's totally fine. But you want to put 6 chicken thighs either in the resealable bag or a large bowl. Add about 1 tablespoon of salt and about 2 tablespoons of pepper. No, you do not have to use pink Himalayan sea salt if you don't want to. You can use regular. I'm just using this because that's what we have. Now you want to either knead or stir your chicken thoroughly to coat in your salt and pepper. Shake it up. Make sure it's all coated in salt and pepper. I'd say use your hands. Kneading doesn't really work that well. Let your chicken rest for about 15 minutes. Now when your buttermilk is ready, you want to reserve a half a cup and put it in the fridge until we're ready to use it. Meanwhile, you want to pour this onto your chicken. What's left over should be about a cup and a half. Be careful when pouring, especially if you're using a resealable plastic bag. Add 1 tablespoon of oil or sesame oil to your chicken. Knead or stir to mix and coat. And then let this rest in the fridge for at least 3 hours, up to 12 hours, but preferably overnight. Now while our chicken is marinating, we're going to quickly make our dressing so they can marinate at the same time. Whatever time you chose, the 3, 12, or overnight, you want to marinate this, your dressing, and the chicken at the same time. I'm going to use the bowl that I used to make my buttermilk in, just to make things easier, but use a medium-sized bowl. Add a half cup of Greek yogurt. Add your half cup of reserved buttermilk, a teaspoon of oil or sesame oil, whichever you used when you marinated your chicken, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, a dash or 2 of hot sauce, and lastly, salt and pepper to taste. Using a whisk, you want to whisk everything until it's nice and smooth. Now when your dressing is nice and smooth, you're going to cover it with plastic wrap or a lid or whatever type of container you chose to put it in. And you want to put this and let it rest for the same duration as the chicken. So if you chose 3 hours, let it rest for 3 hours, or 12, or overnight is preferable. Just make sure they're resting at the same time. So when your chicken's ready to go and be cooked, you want to get yourself a baking dish and put a baking rack on top. Spray it with some Pam spray or grease it with oil, whatever you got. Open your bag and take out your chicken. Let the excess drip off. Give it a little shake. And put your chicken skin side up on top of the rack. Throw away the excess marinade. We're done with this part. And you want to bake your chicken off at 475 degrees, starting off at about 25 to 30 minutes, or until no longer pink and the top and skin is nice and golden and crispy. Cook your rice according to package directions. Tonight I'm going to make a Spanish style rice pilaf. I've had this one before and it's so good, I definitely recommend. Now once your chicken is no longer pink on the inside and nice and golden on top, take it out of the oven and let it rest for 2 or 3 minutes, just so it cools down a bit. Next, you want to take the dressing out of the fridge that you marinated with your chicken the day before or a few hours before, and give it a nice stir to get everything all loose again. Take a spoonful, put it onto your plate. Take a nice piece of chicken and put it directly on top of your dressing sauce. Feel free to drizzle on more sauce on top of your chicken and your rice and your vegetables, whatever you like. And enjoy!